So I normally don't talk about the light and the dark or the light versus the dark because I feel like it's just another avenue of separation. And but it's important now that some people are newly waking up, some haven't woken up yet, but we are have to look at the dark side of things. And there's going to be disclosure soon, and things are already coming out. You know, the human trafficking, the sex trafficking, the children, appalling things that people don't know about yet. There's more, but that's not why I'm on today. Not to disclose these things to you. But I wanted to talk about how, you have to recognize the dark. We have to know that it's there, but we have to stay in our light. Okay, so we need to just be who we are in our center, in our heart, and walking through life the best we can, staying in our light, and not to get sucked into all kinds of fear based things that are out there right now. We're being drawn into, being fearful of this virus, and I know that it's really, for some people it's really bad. I mean, other people are walking around with it and don't even know they have it. So, but there's a lot behind the virus too, and there's a lot, and they're using that to create more and more fear and have more and more control. So there's been this light and dark conflict since humanity began. I don't even know. It's Star Wars. Star Wars really is real. So some of you know that, some don't. I see there's people on here that I don't think know about this stuff. So, so in the beginning, the story is that there were gods. There's these demigods that get to play and create new worlds, and they play with the light or without the light. And so we ended up with gods who were honoring the light and honoring that we are all love consciousness, that creates everything, and working within the universal laws, let's just say. And then there was the other side that wanted to find their own way and didn't care about everybody else, just themselves, and wanted to take what they could take for themselves. And that would be the dark. So how the dark survive is by feeding off of your emotional body, which is your powerhouse. Your emotional body is attached to your heart center, your heart chakra. And that's where you feel and connect, and that's where your intuition is. You have the third eye, but it's a connection with the heart, and you draw in your connection to source is through your heart. So your emotional body is attached to that, and that's what gives you your information. That's what tells you yes or no. You have a feeling that something's right or something's not right. That's a gut feeling, whatever that feeling is, intuition, whatever you want to call it. That's your consciousness. That's your power. That's where your power is. So the dark know this. So they don't want you to be in touch with your power. They want to be able to control you because they feed off of your fear and your pain. And let's just say there's a certain kind of energy that comes from your pain and from fear that they siphon it off the planet, to feed them. So then they create this whole world of minions on the planet. It's just so funny because, like, you see these movies, but it's like really the truth. To carry out their deeds, I don't know, making them promises. I don't know, to carry out their deeds, to create more pain, to have more fear, for them to have more of this energy. And that's how the dark works on the planet as well, is they draw this energy from other beings. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to get all the way into it because not everybody's ready for it. So They draw the energy from other beings. But when you're stepping in your light, you're in alignment with source. You're in alignment with the light and the consciousness of love that goes throughout infinity. It's beyond multiverse. It's beyond all that. It's the beginning of creation. You can walk through life in alignment with that light, with that source that's within you, and be in joy and happiness. And yeah, we decided to have this human experience, so we're going to waver a little bit. We're not going to be completely on, but it's not going to be dramatic like it is now. What we're going through now is because they're keeping us away from our true selves, from knowing our true selves, from our true energy. And some people have reclaimed that. Light workers, lots of people have reclaimed that for themselves, and they're showing the way. They're called way showers, light workers, starseeds. They're showing the way for others to wake up to their power within them. And all it really is getting connected in with your true self, with your heart, in that flow. And you flow with the universal laws, which guide everyone, but it's always geared towards unity consciousness, knowing that we're all connected and we're all one. And whatever you do to another, you do to yourself, basically. So it's honor and respect for all beings, all of life, the planet. The planet is a living being as well as us. We need to take care of her. She'll nurture us and we'll nurture her. But if we're not nurturing her, we're gonna use her up. So, we don't want to do that. I feel like I'm getting off what I want to talk about. Does anybody have any questions or anything? Okay. So they suck the energy from us, and we're here being the light. So what's happening now is there's so much light on the planet that they can't survive. And what happens is they just fizzle out. The demigods, I imagine they just fizzle out if there's no more energy for them to suck up. So they can't survive without us, but we can survive without them. So the power is within you. It's all about self-empowerment and self-love. So don't walk around in fear. Yes, you can have compassion for everything that's going on and for those poor people that have to die and suffer. But maybe they're doing that for us to help us wake up. And unfortunately, things happen, but that's what they want. They want more death. They want more pain. They feed off of that. So we don't want to buy into it by being in more fear. So you have to trust your own inner guidance. And that's what they don't want you to do. It's all there. It's all there. Ask yourself the truth. When I would read or listen to a news, which I don't anymore because I don't trust any of it anymore, but any of that stuff, I would always feel in my heart whether it was the truth or not. And even some of the higher vibe books that I read, I could find something in there that would say, no, that doesn't resonate with me. And all that's on purpose. It's to train you, to help you realize that you have to decide. You're the master. You're the creator. So, you're the one that has to decide for you. You can't let someone else tell you what's going on in the world. We've been doing that forever. Since I was in middle school when I said, when we get to be the ones that are running the government, none of this shit's going to be happening. That was back in the 70s. Do you know how much worse it is now than it was then? I mean, come on, people. This is reality. It's just, they're not working for us. They're working for themselves. And we're buying it as a society. Not all of us. I'm just, we're buying it as a society. So get all worked up here. So I guess the reason why I'm talking about the dark, and I normally don't, is so that you realize that why I keep trying to stress to not be in fear. It's not because I'm in la la land somewhere. It's because I know that it feeds them. And I'm trying to explain that because I don't feel I've explained that well enough. And disclosure's coming. So if you're not aware of this stuff, you're going to be shocked. You're going to be shocked. So consider this a warning. And the other thing is, there's been a call for the Declaration of Sovereignty. And I put one out. It's on my YouTube. And, it's claiming that you're the master of your being and that you're the light and you know what's going on with the dark. And they're not allowed to have any part of you, basically. But then the third part of that is knowing that we're all one. It's unity consciousness. They're part of the one. Okay? We can't be in this fight, like if you can see how divided they've made us through racism, sexism, political parties, sports. It's just all meant to keep you divided. So now you need to own that we're all one. And I want to honor and respect all my brothers and sisters, and even you, the cabal, who, is doing all these dastardly deeds in order to feed themselves. But you know what? They're the ones that are in the most pain. They have the most pain going on. They have no idea that their light is within them. But eventually, they're going to surrender because they're in a lot of pain. They might look like they're not, but they are. And they're going to have to surrender to the light within them because that's just the truth of it. That's the truth of it. This whole dark thing is all made up an illusion. The light is the truth of it. It's consciousness. It's what we are. So, let me see here. Okay. So, and that's why they kept us trapped into this thinking mind. Like everything can be figured out intellectually. Because they want to keep you from your heart. So that's the other thing. The whole society's built on the mind. On the thinking mind, the intellectual mind. But they control that too. So that's how they do it. So you always have the choice. It's your choice. Are you going to choose fear today? Or are you going to choose love? Are you going to listen to the mess and let it guide you into fear and pain and sadness? Or are you going to say, send all those beings love. All of them. Send them all your love. Do prayers every day to pray for everybody. And then go about your day in joy. That's the best medicine because you're putting more light into the collective. More light, more light. The more light, the less they can do. Everything's blowing up in their face anyway. It might look bad right now, but it's blowing up in their face. And all we have to do is walk our path of light. Walk in joy, walk in happiness, walk in peace. Being at home, find creative things to do. I'm having a great time painting. I'm learning how to paint. I never painted before. Here, look. Here's my new earth back here. Isn't this great? It's all shiny. I can't do this right, but there you go. That's my new earth. All shiny. Shiny and glowing. So, from there, so now you're in this place, right? You've decided, you're remembering who you are. You're going to walk in your path. You're going to be a master of your being, and you're choosing life. You're choosing love. You're choosing light. You're choosing compassion for all beings. And now we're creators. It's time to be the creator. Okay? I keep talking about this too, but I just want to go deeper into it. You're the dreamer. Awaken the dreamer within you. Dream the dream. What do you want your world to look like? What does it look like? If everybody believed in unity consciousness, not believed it, just know in their beingness that we're all unified, we're all one, what would be the rules? How would we be governed? And we're all self-empowered now because we know this, right? So we all become self-empowered. We know it's all the powers within us. It's all our own choice. And everyone feels the same way about this basic belief of life. So how do we're all still going to have differences though. There's going to be diversity in all kinds of different ways. So we're probably not all going to agree on everything. That would be boring. So we need a government. What does that look like to you? What kind of government is that? What is work? Is work play? Is work work? Do we work as long, as many hours? Do we create? One way to dream this is to sit down in your mind and say, okay, every person on the planet is abundant. Nobody has to pay for anything. In fact, money isn't even necessary. What would the world look like? What would we be doing? How would we be living? It's really fascinating. I mean, it's that John Lennon song, Imagine, was feeding me a lot. That was like a mantra to me for like a year. I'd play that song over and over and over again. And I would imagine a world with no borders. Think of that. I mean, who made up these borders? Do we have to own land? Or can we just say, this is where I'm putting my house? How do we actually own land? It's Mother Earth. Do we have to have borders? No, but we can have cultures. We can have different cultural places. People can live in different places. Do we have to have fear over, what someone else is doing in another country? No, because they know whatever they do affects the whole. And we know the same thing, so there's no worries. So what are we doing? To me, we're creating. We're playing in creation. I mean, this is what we're here to do anyway. I mean, we come, we're light beings that have no physical senses. So we come into these bodies, our temples, and we create a physical experience. And we get to touch and feel and taste and have emotional feelings that are not good and good. You get to know the both sides of it, without, we chose polarity because we wanted to have an experience, something to test against. If you're feeling sadness, then you know what joy feels like. If you're experiencing joy and you become sad, then there's a difference. Doesn't mean it doesn't have to be as dramatic as it is now, what we're living in, the pain that we're living in now. Yeah, Caitlin, she only wants to be creating from this point forward. Yes, yay. I want everybody to feel that way. I mean, it's surrendering to your higher power and surrendering to God and source that you're being provided for. Let me tell you, if a lot of you haven't heard my story, for 7 years, I had no money. I was traveling around trying to make my life work, trying to create healing places and go out and do sound healings everywhere. I was barely making it financially. But that whole time taught me how to let go of all of my lack issues. And I learned to surrender to my higher power and know that I'm supported in every way. But we just have to look, we just can't, we can't expect it to look the way it has. We have to be willing to see some change and allow. That's the other thing that I noticed that we don't do. We don't let people help us. We don't let them know that we need help. We want to help everybody else, but don't expect any help. Don't ask for any help. That's a conditioned thing that we have to let go of. Because if we're all one, we need to support each other. We need to help each other. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing to feel guilty about. And that's part of what I learned. I ended up staying with people, that I didn't know I was going to do, and just different things. I mean, even now, like I'm staying with my mom. That frees me up to do the work that I'm doing here now. If I had to go out and get a job to pay rent somewhere, I wouldn't be able to be so present with this information, to bring this information forward to you. So some people can do both. For some reason, I can't. So whatever. Dream the dream. Oh, so then, you're the creator. We're all the creator. We're all masters. And now we're dreaming the dream. That energy is going into the collective energy. That's creating our holistic, our collective dream. When we all dream separately, it's all, everybody's is a little bit different, just the way we work now. It's all a little bit different. You can listen to like 10 people give their messages, but they're all a little bit different. They all give a different aspect, but it's all basically the same. Same thing with creating our new world. We're responsible for it. We got ourselves to this point because of the amount of people that were dedicated to it and opened up their hearts. We need to continue it. We need to not get caught up in the fear that's coming down the pike here, not get caught up in all this and stay in our light. And, if you're feeling the pain or you're feeling sadness, give yourself a moment, move through it. Is it yours? Is it something you need to look at? Do you need to love yourself a little more? Go through the process. Let it go and move through your life in joy. But it doesn't do you any good or anybody else any good to walk around being sad and worried about everybody that's being affected by this virus. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't help them. If you could do something to physically help them and you want to, go for it. But sending your light into the collective light and building that light up to break down the fear is the best thing you can do. Is one of the best things you can do. So I just, I ask you to think about that, and go into your hearts. That's the most compassionate way that you can be. Being sad and worry does nothing really except make you sick. Your stress and your fear lowers your immunity and makes you more susceptible. So go out there and have fun. Do something fun. Create. Dream. Please dream. Please dream. In fact, I would like to see you write in the comments or make a little video, like a 1-minute video, and put it on Facebook. And we'll start a stream of people saying, my dream is. And it can just be a couple sentences. It could just be part of your dream, but just my dream is. That all beings, walk the earth in peace. No borders, whatever. Whatever you dream. Pam says she put a quote on her windowsill. The light does not ignore the darkness. The light bears witness to the darkness. Then by its very presence illuminates the very same. Send love into the darkness. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's where it is. Sending love into the darkness. And I see I'm turning dark because I was relying on the light from the window. So I'm going to say goodnight in the darkness. Happy journey. If you guys have any questions, or anything you want me to talk about, let me know. Because I'm trusting my intuition to bring me into what is the next topic. So I love you. Happy journeying. Bye.